Second. Okay. So today's class we will talk about recruitment methodologies and practices. So, so following is the chapter we're going to go through. So first we'll start with methods of recruitment and types of recruitment, advantages and drawbacks in each recruitment methods. So methods of recruitment, what it defines you is on what basis organization or on what methods organization reaches the potential job seekers. So it refers to the means by which an organization reaches to the potential job seekers. So there are various methods in which organization can seek through when recruiting. So those are said to be called sourcing. So what source are they going through to get the potential candidates? So recruiting or advertising for new employees is sometimes referred to as sourcing, which means using different source to find employee candidates. Once a number of candidates are found, you must qualify each and determine if they are a good fit. So sourcing is what methods in which an organization chooses to find new employees. So the following are the methods of recruitment, or the sourcing methods to get employees. The first is internal sourcing, second is external, third is third party, and after the sourcing you'll have the pre-interviewing and candidate selection. So we'll go through internal sourcing first. So internal sourcing. So within the company, they first reach out for the new job. Okay, so within a company, there are various ways in which organization can source new employees. For example, one could be promotion, second could be lateral hiring, third could be employee referral. So these are the various internal sourcing methods in which an organization can source candidates for their job internally. So internal source of recruitment is referred to hiring employees within the organization internally itself. So at the time of recruitment, the initial consideration should be given to those employees who are currently working within the organization. So first, they will immediately try to see if the particular roles and responsibilities can be uh, done by the current employee in the organization itself. So which would be cost effective for them because they don't need to spend much in advertising externally. So internal source would be a better way for the recruitment team to get the new roles and responsibilities for that particular job. So first, probably they would try internally getting the job filled, and internal source of recruitment are the best and the easiest way of selecting resources as performance of their work is already known to the organization. So this is the most important benefit with respect to internal source. The particular employee would have already worked in the organization, and whatever his performance is known to the organization already. So they would already know how the employee has already fit into the organization, how he has worked. So it's better for them to judge in doing internal source of recruitment. So the following are the source of internal source of recruitment. First is the promotion, next would be transfer, and the other one is recruiting former employees. So let's go to promotion. So promotion refers to upgrading the employee cadre by evaluating the performance in the organization. So it is the process of shifting an employee from a lower position to a higher position with more responsibilities, salary, facilities, and status. So, so promotion is whenever there is a um, uh, yeah, whenever there is a job with respect to higher position in the company, they would consider if there is any employee who has the skill set in the lower position, and if he is already doing that particular position, they would be ready to give it. So promotion internally is the first source which organization would tend to. So first internal source method would be promotion. In many organizations, with respect to higher vacant position, they would just think to give it to a current employee itself, because as you know, as higher you go, they would expect you to take know more about the company and know more about the organization. So for higher vacant position, it's normally internally they will choose. For example, CEO, CTOs role. Most probably in all companies, very rarely you see companies hiring from other companies. So most of the promotion with respect to CXO positions would be in internally itself. And next is transfer. This refers to the process of interchanging job from one location to another, or one department to another department. This can also be called as lateral move. Lateral move is, for example, a technical manager in accounting department moving as a technical manager in sales department, or any other department. So his job roles and responsibility would be the same, but his location could be deferred, or his department could differ. So the roles and responsibilities remain intact, but he's just laterally moving from one department to another department, or from one city to another city. So that is what internal source of recruitment with respect to transfer. In recruiting former employees. So recruiting former employees, once the promotion and lateral hire is not possible, they will try to see if any other former employees can join the company. So this also has another advantage, that they would already know how the company works, and uh, they would already know how the company works. They would already had some fitment in the industry, so they don't need to advertise. Also here they would minimize the cost. They will just call the former employees and see if they're able to join again. So this form of sourcing is cost effective, and it will also save plenty of time. So recruiting former employees is a process of internal source of recruitment, wherein the ex-employees are called back depending upon the requirement of the position. Next is internal advertisement. So what happens is, the HR team will send a mail internally to all the employees in the organization, and they will post all the current uh, posting or current vacancies in the organization, and ask any other all the employees to check if they can refer their friends, and uh, any other friends or family members inside the organization. So this is internally organization would advertise. So if you are working for a company, you can when you go through the mails of the company, you can see various mails considering the job posting internally. So this is internal advertisement. So various companies will have a separate websites internally, so to reach through the current job vacancies of that organization, so you can get that details internal through internal advertisements. So employee referrals. Once the employee sees this internal job postings, he can refer any known members or his family, friends, anyone, if they choose that they are relevant to that position. So it goes hand in hand with the previous internal advertisement posted by the organization. So it is an effective way of sourcing the right candidates at a low cost. It is the process of hiring new resources through the reference of employees who are currently working with the organization. In this process, the present employees can refer their friends and relatives for filling up the vacant positions. So these are the most prominent ways of internal sourcing. So what we went through was methods of recruitment. And first we are following internal sourcing. Internal sourcing recruitment. There are many methods in that: promotion, transfer, recruiting former employees, internal job posting, and employee referrals are the main thing which an organization consider for sourcing applicants. So also they will have a database of previous applicants who have applied for the job position, so they can also check that those candidates for the job. So next is, what are the advantages of internal sourcing? So based on this, can anyone tell or type what could be the benefits, what would be the advantages? So what could possibly be the advantages of internal sourcing? Any guesses?
Sir, internal sourcing provides a very beneficial to the company because it gives a opportunity to the company for providing more benefits to its own employees, so that employees will get a good faith on the company.
Okay.
And a company can control the employee turnover and absenteeism by encouraging the employees of its own company.
So they can boost the morale. That's what you're trying to say?
Ah, yes, yes, sir, exactly.
Okay. Okay. So employee morale will get higher. People working in organization will have faith in the company that the company can give promotions to themselves. Okay. Any other benefits
Yes,
you
sir.
can think?
Mm,
Okay, Soumya. Very good.
okay, sir, thank you. Sir, actually, I have a doubt, sir. Can you please clarify me?
Okay.
Sir, in case of promotion, I have a situation that is one person is senior most person, and the other person is he's a fresher, and the senior employee is waiting for that post since many years. But a recruiter is ready to give that position to the fresher. Sir, in this case, as a recruiter, to whom we should choose a experienced person who is working with our company since many years, or the fresher who is working very good, whom we can recruit, sir, for a position
Okay.
in case of promotion.
Okay. Promotion basically is normally given to employees who is already doing the position. For example, if I am a technical lead and my next position is senior technical lead. So currently, if I am doing the role of a senior technical lead only, I will be promoted. Okay, so that means
Mm, okay.
you understand it. It's not like you do whatever role if you're continuing to do, you will remain as whatever you have done itself. So if you have to get promoted as a manager, you should be doing the managerial role even as a technical. So then only your performance will be considered and your promotion will also be considered. So you can tell that I'm already managing 5 to 6 employees and I've already managed the project for 1 year successfully and I don't have any customer complaints. And then the organization will think that you have scaled up your skills and you are already doing the job. So they would promote you and it'd be beneficial for the company. So that's how organization works right now. If you are doing the current job, you will be placed in the current job itself, current role itself. So if you want to scale up higher, so anybody for in this context, if the fresher who has joined is doing the job well as a manager, and he would be moved up the ladder. And if the in this scenario, the senior most person, if he is not doing the job role of manager and he is continuing to do the role of a technical lead, then he will not be promoted because for a manager role, you should already be playing that role. That's the expected.
Okay. Okay, sir.
You will just consider whether you are playing the role and whether you are able to at least match up to whatever they think you can do it. So at least if you show that ability that I've already done 50% of the task already with my current responsibilities, then I can scale up. You prove it in your job. That's what matters. So talking about it will not matter because you've been in the company, so you're not new to the organization or to the project, so they know what role you have played. and what are your skill set, whether you're restricting yourself to something, whether you're always open about new challenges. Everything they would be knowing because you are with them at least one third of the day. So promotion in this context, right, within organization, it's not easy to get. In the same way, it's not difficult to get if you are already playing that role. Okay, anytime if you are thinking about promotion, just think about whether you are playing that role or not. If you are not playing that role, you're definitely not going to get promoted.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions here? Thank you, Soumya. Anybody? Okay, any other advantages in internal sources other than what Soumya said?
Hello, good afternoon, sir. Hello,
Yes, yes. Can you
good
speak up?
afternoon, sir.
Yeah, can you little speak up, or you can type? Okay, so if ex-employee already working in another company and we call him back, then we recruit on the same position or salary. Okay, so recruiting former employees would be a last resort if um, it would be considered an external source only. But the only thing is, if the former employees' absence are unique, or if he has gone for masters or education, so probably in that kind of situation we can consider it. Other than that, normally it is also equivalent to external source of recruitment only. So in that context, it is like you are hiring someone outside from outside the organization. In that context, you have lots of skills outside. So it depends. It depends on context. It depends on project. It depends on how the former employee performance is, and how he has played, or what role he has played, and what role is currently needed. So those are the perspectives a recruiter would think about before going for former employee. So there are lots of things at stake here. So they personally wanted to know why the particular employee left. So there would be more emphasis on that. So it would be also considered as external source of recruitment. Yeah, but it's an easy way. You don't need to advertise. You're sourcing. You know who the source is. So that's why I put that former employees also as part of internal sourcing. So it's not about. So here there is no clear answers. It depends on criteria and conditions. So there are many things at stake. You have to take everything under consideration, and based on that, the recruiter or the project manager would be deciding it. Okay, we talked more about promotions. Any questions on transfer? So transfer predominantly happens when company um, is growing in other locations. For example, let us take IT companies. Now they are moving from tier 1 cities to tier 2 cities. As you guys are noticing, they are moving from metro cities, Chennai, Bangalore, to uh, cities like Lucknow and cities like Madurai, they are just going from tier 1 cities to tier 2 cities, and in this context they need more employees who have already worked in that role from another city to relocate to the new new location, right? So they need highly skilled employees who already worked in the company because they know how the company works. They just want their employees to move from this location to another location because there is a higher need for them to be there. So transfer phenomenally happens when company grows from there changes location, or it's growing from one location to another location. Mostly transfer happens like that. Internally, in employee perspective, he may be in Lucknow, and from Lucknow, and when he joined, there is no branch in Lucknow of the same company. So after a couple of years, uh, if a company is opening a branch there, then he may seek to get transfer, and then based on the needs, the company will try to move him from the parent location to another location. So the transfer is also some part plays some part in internal sourcing. Okay, so advantages of internal sourcing: it is easy, quick, and cost effective. Why it is cost effective? Because they don't need to advertise externally in papers or in websites for their position, so they can take care of the job vacancies internally, so it's cost effective for them. And there is no need of induction and training. So for new employees, there is always a training period which a company gives, which is time consuming and also cost. So the company can save cost and time by having no induction and training as well, because the candidates already know the job and responsibilities in terms of in terms of promotion or in terms of transfer. They already know what role and responsibility they need to do. So there is no need of training and there is no need of induction as well. As Soumya said, it motivates the employee to work hard and increase the work relationship within the organization. And also, it helps in developing employee loyalty towards the organization. And it also saves some time for the project management team. So, these are the possible advantages of internal sourcing. So, any doubts here? Any questions? Okay, so since we went through advantages, any guesses what would be the drawbacks of internal sourcing? Can a company suffice only with internal sourcing? So if internal sourcing is
Yes.
itself enough, why do we need external sourcing? Why are they posting it in newspapers and websites? So any drawbacks? Any guesses? Any guesses on the drawbacks of internal sourcing? Any idea?
Yes, sir. Freshers will not get the chance to prove their self,
Okay.
and because now freshers are very updated with the technologies and all. So if we recruit internally, so they don't get opportunities to prove their self.
Okay. Okay, that's a good point. Any other point? Okay. So no other point. So there are, as Mega said, it prevents new hiring of potential resources. Sometimes new resources bring innovative ideas and new thinking onto the table. So the talent pool outside is huge. Okay, and the skill set of the candidates outside is huge. Okay, and um, the current employees or the current employees in the organization would have a defined mindset, and for jobs, uh, for some jobs which needs certain innovative thinking, so probably those type of roles and responsibilities, they would just try to bring people from external sourcing. Okay, so company would need innovative ideas and new thinking, and as Mega said, when they need freshers, they has to source candidates from outside. Okay, there could be issues in between employees, so this happens in every organization. If an internal source is promoted, then that position will be remain vacant, so they have to think about whether is there any other candidate uh, who has played the role, or they have to choose outside. So there are also possibilities when your colleague is getting promoted, the employees who are currently present will also get little demotivated. So these are the considerations and drawbacks within internal sourcing. So external sourcing. So this is the predominantly um around mostly 60 to 70% of the job vacancies getting filled through external sourcing. It is referring to hiring employees outside the organization externally. External employees bring innovativeness and fresh thoughts to the organization. Although hiring through external sources is a bit expensive and tough, it has tremendous potential of driving the organization forward and achieving its goals. So you can see here in these points why they want to hire most of the employees outside. Okay, so though it is expensive and tough, the new resources coming to the organization would be in a approach, or he would be thinking about growth. So he has joined a company for his growth, and he wanted to grow higher also. So when he joins newly, he would be thinking about driving the organization forward, and also he also achieved his goal by solving the organization problems. So this is going hand in hand. This is a win-win situation for the organization as well as for the employee who is getting placed newly. Okay, so external source of recruitment, it brings innovativeness and fresh thoughts to the organization. So direct recruitment refers to the external source of recruitment, where the recruitment of the qualified candidates are done by placing a notice of vacancy on the notice board. This is similar to some websites in which current organization would be having, in which the outside pool can just go and check it out in the internet itself. So if you want to check any open positions or vacancies in organization, there would be a specified link for that particular company, and anybody outside can go through those vacancy list and they can apply. So this is direct recruitment, source of recruitment. And there is also employment exchanges. So in our company, not in our country, this employment exchange wouldn't be that handy, but if you go internationally, if you go outside our country, most of the external source of exchange would be through employment exchange, though it is not applicable right now. So it's important that you also know this is also a form of sourcing externally. So you can see this as per law for certain job vacancies. It is mandatory that the organization provides details to the employment exchange. It is a government entity. The details of the job seekers are stored and given to the employers for filling the vacant position. This external requirement is helpful in hiring for unskilled, semi-skilled, and skilled workers. So this we will not be handling in practice or knowing in practice, but it's good to know it happens predominantly outside our country. So for this could come handy for government jobs, but I'm also not aware of how it works and what are the processes involved. So it's still not predominantly used in our country. So there are various employment agencies and advertisements, professional associations, campus recruitment. These are all part of external sourcing recruitment. So employment agencies are a good external source of recruitment. It is run by various sectors like private, public, or government. So it provides job vacancies to all kind of positions. It could be skilled, unskilled, and also many sort of requirements it sorts out. It holds a database of qualified candidates and organization, and they can use the services at a cost. This we can call it as consultants also. So this employment agencies. So there would be private consultants who would be getting the candidates pulled by websites or by LinkedIn or by various other means. So they will have a talent pool, and whenever organization needs big demand, for example, they need around 12 sales executives or 50 sales executives, they will just consult with these consultants, and then they would ask them to get prepare their candidate pool, and they would help them in solving the problem of the recruitment. So this is probably consultants you can think about. And advertisements, as you see, this is the major thing which everybody knows. It could be the newspaper or it could be a website. So the organization would apply advertisements, and after seeing the advertisement, the candidates can apply for the position. So it is announced through various print and electronic media with a specific job description and specification of the requirements. Using advertisement is the best way to source candidates in a short span of time, and it offers an efficient way of screening the candidate specific recruitment. Since the recruitment is known by means of advertisement, so the candidates will know whether they fit into that roles and responsibilities or not, and based on that, they can apply for the position. So, professional association can help an organization in hiring professional, technical, and managerial personnel. However, they specialize in sourcing mid-level and top-level resources. So, there are many professional associations that can act as bridge between the organization and the job seekers. So, the campus recruitment specifically for freshers. So it is a source of recruitment where the educational institutions such as colleges and universities offers opportunities for hiring students. In this process, the organization visit technical management and professional institution for recruiting students directly for the new position. So this everyone would be aware of it. So any freshers would be knowing about it. In word of mouth advertising, so this is predominantly like you talk when you talk to your friends and you tell that this is there is some opening in my company, so something like that. So there are many reputed organizations with good image in the market. Only need a word of mouth advertising regarding a job vacancy to attract a large number of candidates. So once you tell few people, it automatically spreads fire within the particular location, and many of the candidates who are looking for job would be knowing about it. So that's word of mouth advertising. So these are all the various methods of external source of recruitment. So as we did for internal source, what are the potential benefits of external sourcing? Can you guys talk about it or write about it? So just keep trying. Can any one of you try on the benefits of external sourcing?
Yes, sir. External recruiting helps the company in recruiting new talent from the outsiders. And if the candidates whom the company have recruited, if they're very talented, it also reduces the training cost to the company sometimes. And we can also know about many other firms when we are hiring new candidates, how they are.
Tim, go ahead. Yes, correct. Okay.
And when we recruit new people, they give new thoughts to the company. They help in providing new ideas in new projects or in the whole project. We can have some new ideas.
Okay, correct. So there is one point which you said they would have they would have experience working in many films. That is actually very handy for the organization because they not only know one process, they would be knowing many process, and that from there they would be able to efficiently choose which is the better process for the organization. So they would be helping organization to grow with their experience. So that one point which Soumya was trying to tell, that is actually gives a huge impact to the company. Okay, good points. So anyone else can try what are the advantages, or you can also try what are the disadvantages of external sourcing.
So coming to disadvantages, obviously external recruiting would be cost to the company.
Right.
And again, it may also demotivate or the employees of its own organization when they are preferring the external candidates sometimes.
Correct.
And sir, in external sources, uh, it can be difficult to tell that the candidate's information whether he or she will be fit in the company or not.
Yes, you're correct.
And this training process takes more time to train external candidates.
Okay. Okay, those are some good points.
And external sources may decrease the currently employees morale, and if morale will decrease, the productivity automatically decrease.
Okay. So pretty good points. So let's see what I have right now. So it encourages new opportunities for job seekers. There will be no biasing or partiality between employees. Organization branding increases through external sources. So this means company is growing. Okay, when company starts recruiting, for example, from a startup to a big company, like who will be recruiting? So if startup was flourishing, was having profits, they will recruit. So once they start recruiting, it will spread among the job candidates, and it will spread among the industry. The particular organization is growing, and they will hear more and more about the company as the recruitment goes on. So it increases the branding of a company as well. Okay, there will be no biasing and partiality. The scope for selecting the right candidates is more because of the large candidates appearing for the particular selection, and also what Megha and Soumya said. So it will bring innovativeness to the company. It will have experience, but they would be knowing more about many processes. They would have gone for example, for an experienced candidate, he would have already seen many companies before, for example, 3 or 4 companies before, and he would be a veteran in the particular industry. So his skill matters. So these are the potential advantages. And disadvantages includes it consumes more time. Okay, and selection process is very lengthy because you need to know the current fitment of the particular candidate. The cost incurred is high compared to internal, and external candidates always demand more salary and benefits. Along with that, what Megha said is also correct. So we don't know whether the particular candidate is culture fit or not. So that is also we can add. So this is pretty much the sourcing methodologies which we use. Third party sourcing is probably they will not do any kind of sourcing. For example, it will use a placement agency to source employees, and they will do the sourcing. Company will do the interview. So those are called third party sourcing. So third party sourcing involves using a placement agency or headhunter to find qualified job candidates. So these third party sources use various techniques and tools to find appropriate job applicants, such as extending offers for improved salary compensation, more flexible benefit packages. So they would try to source using a agency placement agency or a headhunter. So pretty much these are the sourcing methodologies in which a company source employees. Okay, so our plan is, yes, methods of recruitment, types of recruitment methods, advantages, drawbacks. I'm just reiterating what we went through in this past 1 hour. So the major sourcing, there are two types of sourcing majorly done by company: internal sourcing and external sourcing. Internal sourcing, there are various ways: employee referral, job listings, and promotions and transfer. In an external source, you have we do have many sources. So it would be word of mouth advertising or job posting, advertising the particular vacancies, employment agencies, employment exchanges, direct recruitment, professional association, campus recruitments for hiring freshers. So you'll be able to know about all this recruitment in the past 1 hour. So that's what we have done. In third party sourcing, sometimes all the sourcing would be done by the third party agency. It could be a placement agency or headhunter, and the interviewing would be done by the company itself. Okay, so once the sourcing is done, the company would be able to pull in the potential candidates, and then the interviewing or pre-selection happens. Okay, so now we are done with sourcing. So next process we are going to through is the selection of candidates. So what are the possible ways in which the company select candidates, and that we'll go through. So all business suggests that you should schedule interviews when you know you'll have unlimited time to review the job candidate's resume and conduct an insightful interview. Do not focus solely on the applicant's credentials or experience. What matters is whether they would be fitting the roles and responsibilities or not. They should also check that. Also present hypothetical scenarios to the candidates and ask how they would evaluate and solve the presented problems. Since majorly the reason for external sourcing is we want to know how innovative and how problem solve, how they would be solving the current problems of the company. So this is also matters when you hire candidates externally. So you present hypothetical scenarios to these candidates and ask how they would solve the problems. Listen to the answers without interruption and take notes on key points. So when you conduct interviews, you also listen carefully on how they would be solving the problem and how they would be approaching the problem. So the solution will not always be matter. The problem solving approach will be matter. So these are the some checkpoints during pre-selections, and most important thing is follow-up process. So as a recruiter, you source the candidate, and you also told them that particular date and venue is your interview, and how are you going to bring them to the interview, right? So that those are the important points. You keep aware that the particular um, job or particular candidate is coming for an interview, because this point is very important, because the current interview panel, you're paying, the company would be paying the interview panel some amount of money for them to take an interview. Okay, and if the possible candidates doesn't show up, it is a waste of time and effort and money for the company if the candidates doesn't show up to the interview. This is actually a potential problem which is currently going, and if you are a recruiter, you would be also facing this in some extent. So always have a check, have a note that the candidates would be showing up at the correct time and date for the interview. So we need to, as a recruiter, we need to do some follow up for it. So always check on their commitment, whether they are able to whether they would be coming or not. For example, before an interview, just schedule a call with the particular candidate and check if he's able to show up on the call and whether everything is fine with them. Also send a note or an email that your particular interview will be happening in this location and this is scheduled and for that particular time, and based on that you would be able to get the answer or reply from the potential candidate. So these are the practical methods in which you can achieve it. There are certain candidates which would not abide by it. For that you don't need to worry. At least let's stick to the process of getting them to the interview. We should also have a thought process that after we send a mail we should at least get a call from them that there is a commitment from them, so that we should be able to know. So as a recruiter, before an interview, they must follow up whether the individual candidates will attend an interview or not. So you can confirm it by sending an email and then ask them to acknowledge it, and also call the candidate and ask for the confirmation. So this is also a very important process after you source the candidates. Any questions here? Any questions here? Okay, fine. Okay, next is the candidate selection. So using the interview notes you have taken, compare each interview with his resume and look to see if you have missed anything while reading the resume the first time. So make a candidate selection on the basis of how competitively they answered the question and what questions he asked during the interview. So it's not only the interviewer answering asking question, whether there are any questions coming from the employee, I mean the potential candidate also. So based on that questions, you can see whether he has done any background check on the company, how interested is he with the current position is he going to undertake. So all those questions would be thinking that he be is committed and he would be joining the company. So those are the considerations that you should also check when you interview. Interviews who do not asking are either shy or uninterested in your business. This is the practical thinking with the recruitment team. The candidate who doesn't ask any questions is either shy or is not interested in the company. So follow-up process. One task that all recruiters believe we should do is follow up after an interview. So what's the right way to do it? So these are the tips which we can do after a candidate undergoes an interview. Get the right information at an interview. Definitely follow up. Just reply them as soon as possible. Keep it professionals, and references don't equal job offer. So this having references doesn't mean they would get that job. So always follow up. That is the important thing. Just follow up as soon as you get the result. If even if they're not getting the job, just tell them what is the feedback, and you just tell if any opportunities comes, probably we can able to do it later. So that is the most important thing as a recruiter we should do, because the candidate has spent some time and an effort in getting to the interview and attending it, and we should be thankful to those people who has attended it. So definitely follow up and just be on time, be professional. It could be 2 minutes or 3 minutes of talk, Just do it and get over it. To make sure that you're clear about the process, ask any questions about dates and hearing back during the interview. Sometimes they will be able to give you an exact date, but more often than not, it will be along the lines of in the next 2 weeks. Having an idea of timelines makes it easier for you to write your follow-up mail. So for following up, just don't sit there and think about it. It's an important part of showing that you're keen to work with the company. So these are all in terms of employees who followed up. You just if they will ask you whether they are through. So for them, you also follow up with them in either mail or call. Just do it as soon as possible. And it's probably best email rather than call. It's important to make sure that you get in touch quite soon after your interview has taken place, ideally within 48 hours. It is not likely to be a large deciding factor. It can work in your favor. Yeah. So, summing up what we learned today is methods of recruitment, types of recruitment methods, and interview pre-selections, and following up before and after an interview, which is very important. Okay, any questions? Any other thoughts you guys are having? Okay, any doubts on what we went through?
Then nowadays, many of the recruiters, 99% they're recruiting on the based on communication skills, how they are performing in the personal interview and manager round and in group discussion. But there are few people who are from remote areas. They have excellent talent in IT and in other works, but due to lack of communication, they're not getting into the interview, they're not succeeding in the interviews. Sir, as a recruiter, how can we identify that talent and we can hire?
Okay, so this is with respect to freshers, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so freshers, the predominantly the industry requirement is such that the communication has to be uh, communication skills, and this like a template, it depends. For example, as a recruiter, if you think the job profile is engineer or a coder, they don't need much communication skills in the realistic case, correct? So what they're going to do is they're not going to do any communicative task or team task. They're just going to be an individual contributor. So you need to analyze what
Yeah.
contributor, what roles are the freshers going to play. If it is for a sales and marketing team, obviously uh, the fresher has to be communicative. He should show the communicative skills based on the region he lives. It could be a local language. For example, if he has to sell in Delhi area, he should be knowing Hindi, correct? So if he doesn't know Hindi, there is no way he can sell a product, correct? So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so it depends on the job context. As a recruiter, if you think this is an individual contributor role, and if he is very good at Java and he has cleared technical interview well, then he, I think, based on the improvement, he can also improve his language skills. So those things we can take into consideration, and we can tell the hiring person like he has done uh, Java course, he has completed Java certification, and that is utmost talent. And for this job, the communication skill is not necessarily to be in a higher preference. So let us consider him. So those points, see, we can put across, and we can see how it works. So for this also, you have to have that job analysis. If you have done the job analysis and what sort of role that particular candidate is looking for, and if he's matching up to it 75 to 80%, then why not? So mostly, technical team, they would know what would be the problem a potential fresher would be having. So if he have a good Java knowledge, I don't think anyone would say no to that.
Yeah.
So that is also analysis. This comes in analysis. So this is what we talked about last week, right? So last week or this week also, any point of time, this analysis or the template which you should have, the first thing which we do, the research which we do about the roles and responsibilities plays a major role in this. Once we are aware of that, only we can do what kind of sourcing we can do, whether can we hire internally or externally, in what means we can do. So those things comes into the picture, and then we would be solving the problem step by step. Okay.
Hello, sir. From my side, sir, there is a question. In external recruitment, if we bringing fresh talent from the outside, so current employee will be motivated uh, mm, to produce and achieve more in hopes of obtaining the next promotional opportunity, and as well as they will demotivate because current employee feel the lessons their chances of promotion. So why in external sources means in both the cases a current employee will motivated and demotivated.
um, if See, if a company or a project choose appropriately at the correct time what is needed, then you would not have this uh, difference. Because, for example, why do we need to hire employees when we are not having enough resources? Correct. So, for example, in a project, if an employee is working around 12 hours, okay, because there are no resources present at this point of time, we are trying someone from externally, and his working hours reduces from 12 hours to 10 hours, you'll be very happy about it, right? So the company is doing correct job, because the company knows that he's getting overloaded and the project work is more, so they need to hire more people. These are the scenarios in which the company hires generally. Okay. So they will not be hiring meaninglessly without any thought. So when resources are needed, when there is more work to be done, these are the major scenarios when a company recruits. So majorly you will not be, so if you're doing that correctly, there would not be any hindrance or any issues as such, correct? When there are more job to be done and you have less resources, then only you're going to hire people to reduce the current workload and to improve productivity. You'll be hiring and you'll be solving company problem. And if not, why do we need to hire? We don't need to hire.
Okay, sir.
Any questions? Okay guys, if there are no questions, then I'll wind up the session as I'm done for the day. I'll see you guys in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.